Welcome to the Poor Man's Retro Game Room, and today I thought we'd try something a little bit different. I'm going to unbox my original launch model Sega Genesis, the one that packed with Altered Beast, the very first model, the real launch model of the Sega Genesis, and kind of give you an idea of what you would have got in the box back in the day, back in 1989, if you would have purchased your Sega Genesis back then. So this is kind of different. I hope you enjoy it. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. And of course, we're going to start with the Golden Axe poster that was included with the original launch model of the Sega Genesis. And man, it's got to be one of the greatest posters included with a console of all time. Of course, it had, you know, adverts on the back of games to come and other stuff on the back there. I finally got that framed when I started redoing this room up here and making it into my game room slash office. So there we go. There is the box. There is the Sega Genesis 16-bit powerhouse, packed with Altered Beast, high definition graphics scrolled across the top of the system. Sega Genesis. On the back there, of course, you know, they had already started planning for peripherals. They had the power base converter that you could put on there to play your Sega Master System games. Gave you some really good pictures of Altered Beast in-game pictures, screenshots of Altered Beast playing on the Sega Genesis. Man, that caught my eye. When I went to pick up my Sega Genesis, I had to go out of town to get it. And I just remember seeing those Altered Beast screenshots going, man, this is going to be awesome. I had played Altered Beast in the arcade, of course, and just thinking about having that game at home was awesome, man. Man, this is the good old days when your console came packed in styrofoam. And it took a little bit to get these things out. I'm pretty pleased with the condition that my styrofoam's in, though. And the box, you know, it's got wear, it's gonna. 1989 was a long time ago. 1990, long time ago. Alright, so there we go. That was really a great way to pack consoles, though. I mean, you didn't really get consoles home and have them busted up, because, man, that stuff kept it safe. Pretty happy with my lid, still in fairly good condition here. And of course you can see the instructions, and you know, back in the day, and you'd get a nice instruction manual, owner's manual. Was cool, and I don't know how many of us actually read that manual. Probably not very many of us, but I do remember checking it out, you know, once I'd already connected my system. Pretty self-explanatory, though. You ever hooked up a NES or even an Atari back in the day, you got a pretty good idea what you can do here. Man, the system's packed, of course, with RF back in the day, and that was not good. It was such a jump when you were able to actually go to the AV cables. Such a jump in quality. So there you go, there's the instruction manual. And then inside it had this card, and this card is kind of interesting because you could order replacement parts for your system, like the power you know, supply, RF adapter, AV cables, I believe you could order with that card. So that was kind of interesting. Still have that. And yeah. So there you go. That tape is still sticky, and it still sticks to the bag. So. And then of course we had the RF, like we were talking about, the Sega branded RF unit. I'd say good old days, but no, RF was not good old days, unfortunately. But you know, I played it on RF until I was able to actually find out how much of a difference the audio video cables made. And once I found that out, man, I never went back to RF. Every console I got had to have an AV cable. And the Sega Genesis, well, there's two pieces. So when you see a complete in-box Sega Genesis, they're usually missing one of these pieces. So I'm happy that I got these. They're still sealed. They're Sega branded, the exact same ones that came in, you know, the very first launch with the launch model. And then you got your big hefty power supply, of course. You drop that on your foot about one time, and then you'd remember to take care next time, because man, that thing was heavy back in the day. All right, here we go. The 16-bit powerhouse Sega Genesis, and there's high definition graphics scrolled across the top. Yeah, I mean this unit that I have in the box, that I keep in the box, it just is beautiful. It's very clean, nothing wrong with it, no flaws. And then on the bottom there is a little bit of the sticky substance, because when I first got it I did add 2 little feet to it. 4 little sticky feet, I should say. You can get them off Amazon, but I always add those just because it makes your console a little more stable. Sega Genesis had a kind of wobbled sometimes, so I added those. That stuff's easy to take off. And of course, you did not get stereo sound with your AV cables coming out of just the back of your system. You'd want your audio cables to come out of your headphone jack in the front on the original Sega Genesis. That's how you got stereo. Otherwise, you're going to get mono. And then you would have your video cable connected to your TV. And the pack-in game, Altered Beast. You know, I think it was a good choice to go with Altered Beast. It's been debated, and a lot of people don't like Altered Beast. But it really did show you, you know, what the Sega Genesis could do. The sprites were big. It brought an arcade game, and it was pretty close. It wasn't, you know, the arcade game's better. It just is. But it always was back then. This was a very good port, and something that you could just dive into and play, and it also had co-op. Couch co-op available, so I mean, that was huge. Alright, the original controller, now you can tell it's the original launch model controller because it has red lettering on the buttons and red lettering on the up and down and left and right positions of your D-pad. They made solid black controllers that shipped with the Sonic the Hedgehog console, the one that packed with Sonic the Hedgehog. The red ones only came in the launch model, and you could buy them, of course. You could buy extra ones back then. The original controllers that you could buy extra controllers, they had the red lettering on them back then. So there you go. There you go. I'm going to go ahead and put this back together. I'd really like to hear from you guys. Do you remember, did you own a Sega Genesis back in the day? Do you remember getting your Sega Genesis home and opening it up? Or what are some of the consoles that you remember getting home and just opening them up and being wowed and just going through that process? Those were good times, man. It was always a good day when you brought a console home and took it out of the box and unpacked it and got it all set up. So, alright, well, I want to thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this. It's a little different from what I usually do. But, I've been wanting to do this for a while, and so, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider hitting the like button. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. Wish me luck in trying to carefully get this back into the box, and enjoy some Streets of Rage soundtrack while I'm packing this up here. Thank you guys very much. I hope you have a great and safe rest of your day.